Welcome back. This is Kevin from Walker's Adventures. Thanks for tuning in to the video this week. This week we're going to be discussing oil field gate guard jobs because we are back in the oil field in West Texas. So we wanted to give you some information about the different kinds of gates and what to expect and what you will need. At the end of the video, I will have a whole list of all the gate guard companies that are hiring for gate guards. First, lots of people ask, what is a gate guard and what is my responsibilities? Well, as a gate guard, you are monitoring traffic into the oil field. It might be on a drill site, it might be on a frac site, it might just be on somebody's ranch, but you are responsible for checking people in and out on a tablet, making sure that they are supposed to be on the property. It's fairly simple. It can get busy depending on what kind of gate you're on. So let's talk about the differences between the different gates. The gate we're on now is where it's on lockdown, where nobody's in. We got to call the company man to grant access to the pad, which this gate ain't gonna last long. But yesterday I had one person in a 12-hour period. That's a very easy gate. The next one is a ranch, where at ranch you're to have oil trucks and water trucks, and operators coming into the oil field, coming onto the ranch, removing oil, removing water, and that could be, we was on one gate that we probably averaged about 100 people a day on a ranch. So that's not too bad in a 24-hour period to have 100 people. The next one is a drill site. A drill site, you have lots of trucks coming in and out, but usually once it gets set up, it's the same people. They leave to go get dinner or what have you, and you might have about 100. It's not too bad. You see the same people every day. They're working on a rig. They work 14 days on and usually 7 days off. So that's a fairly easy gate as well. The next one is a frac gate, which a frac gate has a lot of traffic. They're bringing in sand trucks, and they're actually fracking they've already drilled the pad, they're fracking the site now. And I've heard of some gates having 500 plus check-ins in a day's time, so that is very busy. And then another kind of gate is what you'd call a laydown yard, where that you're just monitoring traffic where they leave their equipment at and they come and get it as they need it. I haven't had a gate like that yet, so I don't really know much about it. But I know that it's fairly slow because lots of times, people are not coming in except to get equipment or bring equipment back. So there's really two options as a gate gun on what kind of gate you are on. Either you will be at a site where you pull your RV right at the location, you walk out your front door and you're at work. You and your wife or your significant other is on, somebody's there 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. And that's pretty good, because you're right there at the gate. You ain't got to drive very far you ain't got to drive nowhere to get to where you're going because you're already at work. But it makes it hard because somebody's always sleeping. Somebody's sleeping from the night before, or you're sleeping when you just cut off your shift. And it's very hot in South Texas and West Texas. It was 101 here yesterday. And the other kind of sack is what you'd call a guard sack, where they put a sack at the gate that you're monitoring. And you got to, like the gate we're on now, we got to drive about 40 minutes to get to the gate down a bad road. All the roads in the oil field are bad. Just get accustomed to that. You really need a four-wheel drive on most roads that you're going to drive in the oil field in Texas. But both of those different options, they provide water, a generator, and they also provide they come and pump out your septic if you're on site. So both options are good. As you can see over my shoulder, that's the guard sack that I'm at. Which, like I said, I had one person yesterday. But they're both good. But I know what everybody wants to know is, what is the pay? The pay is usually anywhere from 150 to 250 a day, and I'll break it down in two ways. If you're on a guard sack like we're on, we get paid. I get paid $175 per shift, and Linda gets paid $175 per shift. That's the 12-hour shift. And they also provide a RV site, which you're at a man camp. If you don't know what a man camp is, you'll figure it out when you get here. If you're at an RV park that has a man camp. Now, if you're on a spot where your rig is parked right at the gate, that only pays $175 a day for both of you, and you also they also provide the gas, the generator, the water, and septic. So either you can do where you're both at the same gate and you make $175 a day, or you can do a guard sack where you make anywhere from $150 to $250 a day, depending on the traffic. Now, keep in mind, the 250 gates or 225 gates, that's usually lots of traffic. They got more traffic. So it just depends on what you want to do when you get here. So now you're asking, well, how do I get a gate guard job? Well, you call anybody on the list, and they will ask you. They will take over the conversation. They'll ask you, have you got your gate guard license? If you say no, they'll start setting up for your gate guard license, and you do an online course. It's like 6 hours at Texas A&M University online. And usually the gate guard companies will pay for it, or they'll pay for half of it. And it's a 6-hour course. And you both have to have your license to do it. It's called a level 2 security license. And they will ask you, okay, well, when do you want to come to work? Do you want to, they usually say, call us when you're 3 days out. So when you're within 3 days of when you want to go to work, call them. And the other thing is, you got to have a background check, of course. Everybody has to have a background check. You'll also do a drug screen test, which is no big deal. And you could be actually doing this in about a week, actually about 3 days, to be honest with you. So it's very easy to do. Next, let's talk about things to do in the oil field in West Texas. There is nothing to do out here. It is boring as all get out. You got to come up with things to do. I play golf. I've done a driving range that a gateway was on one time. I'd hit like 10, 15 balls out in the field, and I'd go get the balls and come back and do it again. Play my PlayStation, my virtual reality. Linda likes to do a crash. But you really got to find a hobby, otherwise this will drive you crazy. Because it's just a lot of hours of doing nothing, just looking at the same scenery. And it's very hot out here too. I would suggest, if you're out here in the summertime, you really need 2 AC units on your RV. If you don't have 2 AC units, it's going to be hot, because somebody's always going in and out. And if you only have one, every time you go in and out, all your AC is pulled out. So it's always best that we have 2 ACs, and we run them at all times, usually when it gets 100 degrees. It will get hot, because this is like the desert out here. You can see the terrain. I will show you. Let me flip it around and show you the terrain. You're pretty much in the desert. Yeah, you're pretty much in the desert. Anybody can do it. It's not very strenuous. The main thing is, when you're at a gate, to always be polite and courteous, and respect others the way you want to be treated. Because they're just out here trying to make money like you are, and they have all kinds of problems because they spend a lot of time away from their families while they're out here in the oil field. So you always got to treat everybody good, and they'll treat you good. So what do you got to have to be a gate guard? Well, they want you to be at least 18 years or older. You got to pass a criminal background check, a drug screen. You got to pass your level 2 online training course, and that's pretty much it. I mean, anybody can do this, whether you're 18 or you're 70. Anybody can do it as long as your health is good. And it's a great way to make money to pay for your travel so that you can take time off and travel, because that's what it's all about. Would I suggest a gate guard? Yeah, we're back in the oil field, so we like the money. It's always good to make good money for the amount of work that you really have to do. So now I'm going to wrap up this video. I hope that everybody found some information in it. Anyway, I hope everybody has a great day. Hey, give Gate Garden a try. It's a great way to make money. This is Kevin from Walker's Adventures. We'll see you in the next video.